I'm ready.
Welcome to Fireside Nets, brought to you by Empire Sports Media. I'm your host, Spen. I'm not joined by Nick today. I gave Nick the night off because I have a guest co-host. It is the host of the Bad Weather's Fans podcast at Nick Central, Alex B. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me on. I'm sure Nets fans are so happy to hear from me on a Nets podcast. It's nice to be here. It's nice to be here. I didn't bring the broom, though. I didn't bring the broom with me. I left the broom at home.
I appreciate you leaving that at home. Yeah, I didn't think that. I didn't think I'd ask for the broom this episode. For those who don't know, Alex is the host of one of the most unique New York sports podcasts out there, Bad Weather Fans. He hosts it with Nets legend on Twitter, Mike Biseglia, diehard Nets fans. If you're a Nets fan on Twitter, you know who Mike Biseglia is. You probably know who Alex B at Nick Central is. So
sorry.
I appreciate you coming on. This is long overdue, but you know what? The Nets season is technically it's over, and we still have a team in New York in the playoffs that we have to talk about. So first off, Alex, congratulations are in order. I'm man enough to admit it. The Knicks had a better season than the Nets.
They did. I didn't see it coming. So don't look at me. I didn't think that was going to happen. I was picking the Knicks as a playing team completely the entire time. I honestly didn't see any of this coming. I don't think anybody really did. And honestly, if the Miami Heat got their heads out of their asses earlier, the Knicks probably wouldn't have been the 5 seed. And if the Nets didn't implode, they probably are a playing team. So it's just everything just played out perfectly. And just like the rest of the season and everything played out perfectly, the Heat, of course, knock off the Bucks in the first round after the Knicks beat the Cavs in 5 games, which nobody saw coming. You might have picked the Knicks in 6 or 7. Nobody picked 5. If you did, you're a fucking liar, or you just were a homer and just making shit up. Like Knicks in 4. Yeah, okay, buddy, sure. But like everything just has been aligning for the Knicks completely until we hit game 1 of the second round, of course. That did not really align very well with the plan,
But I definitely want to get into this game 1. You guys go down 0-1 to Miami at home. No Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson had a tough game. RJ Barrett had his moments in game 1, but it wasn't enough. You guys shot terribly as a team. And the Heat role players, guys like Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love, they killed you. Actually, I watched the game at a bar with my friend. He's a diehard Knicks fan. And it was tough for him. I mean, for me, I'm not one to troll people when I'm with them. I sort of silently smile at the Knicks' demise. But listen, everything had to go wrong for you to lose that game. It did. But I mean, listen, we don't wish injury upon anybody.
No.
The turning point of that game, no pun intended, was Jimmy Butler rolling his ankle. Right. And all of a sudden, even with the loss, you go into game 2 at home pretty confident as a Knicks fan. So let's start with game 1. Did you disagree with anything I said? Was there anything you wanted to add about that Knicks loss?
I didn't like – I'm a broken record. I didn't like Tibbs' rotations. Obi Toppin at 18-8 gets pulled 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You never see him again. And he was a starting power forward because Randall was out with the injury, as everybody knows. That didn't make any sense. And had the most three-pointers on the team. That wasn't good. Brunson was awful from downtown. He played okay, and RJ Barrett stepped up again, gave him, did well. That was good, but I didn't understand why Tibbs went to like an 8-man rotation. It was just what are we doing? Deuce McBride is completely capable and has been in the rotation most of the season, in and out. Why didn't you give him some minutes? Why? I just don't understand, and it almost led me to my crazy conspiracy.
I think you just got muted.
Yeah, I got muted somehow. I kicked the plug by accident. Sorry. I got so excited by the Tibbs talk that I
want you to save some criticism for Tibbs because we're gonna get back into him later. I got some.
Okay, we'll save it. We'll save it. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So game 2 tomorrow. Tonight, if you're listening on
by
Tuesday.
The way, just real time out. You look super blurry. I don't know do I look blurry on the on here because you look like your Wi-Fi is like you got cricket or something over there. Really? I don't know what's going on.
I got great Wi-Fi here.
Do I look blurry? Station. I mean, am I good?
You look great. I thought it was a painting of you. It's so good. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so we're good then. I didn't want to do this whole episode and be like, I didn't hear half the shit you said. So
the tech is perfect. Everybody out there can hear this, so we're chilling.
Okay.
Got game 2 tomorrow. Tonight, if you're listening on a Tuesday, Jimmy Butler's status is up in the air. I haven't heard anything. Have you? Nothing.
We're not going to know. I mean, there was a video he posted
tomorrow
on his IG. He was drinking coffee, walking around New York City. That means something, I guess. I don't know. Can you imagine, though, being that corny? Yeah. You're walking out with a little espresso cup, one of those paper ones you get in the lobby of a hotel, and you have somebody, hey, take a picture of me as I don't look. And you're just like walking around. Like, come on, man.
I mean, that's genius. That's like, it's next level, right? Like, we think one way. We're playing. Listen, if you guys prepare for Jimmy Butler tomorrow and he doesn't play, he did get you.
He did drink coffee in the middle of New York City. Like, he did do that. So, I mean, good for him. I mean, listen, if that was his goal of this series, then he hit it.
You don't think that Thibodeau saw that picture of him drinking coffee and nearly shit his pants?
Maybe Butler did from the espresso. I don't know, but that's usually what happens. But honestly, I don't know. And the other injury report was that Randall's questionable and Brunson is questionable.
Yeah. Brunson plays.
Everybody's got the
game.
Yeah, I don't think Brunson misses, but I think Randall, it's probably best because Jimmy Butler's probably not playing, in my opinion. That was bad, and he couldn't even move at the end of the game. And I don't know how they didn't attack Butler. Like, you know how, like, when in baseball, I don't know if you're a big baseball fan, if the catcher gets injured, you steal on the next pitch. Like, you know what I mean? If he's a little banged up, gets hit with the ball, go, send him, or at least fake like you're going to send him, and they didn't do that. They were just like, Jimmy Butler standing there. He's like fake shooting he's just standing around, like hobbling, like an old man at the park. And literally, the Knicks didn't attack him at all. Like, I don't understand how you don't go after him. Just make sure the offense gets there. It didn't just mind-boggling to me. It was almost, like Steve Nash was coaching the Knicks at that point. Didn't really make much sense.
I like the Steve Nash barb.
Yeah.
Okay, so game 2, no Jimmy Butler probably. You're probably getting Brunson. I don't know about Randall. What do you have to do to win this basketball game, Alex?
They got to hit from deep. I mean, that's the other misconception about this game. My conspiracy theory brain is that, I know you don't want to get to Tibbs right now, but it's quick. I'll get right to it. Almost feels like Tibbs pulled Obi Toppin so everybody can say, look how much the Knicks miss Randall. Because now that's what everybody was saying after the game, when that's not why they lost the game. They lost the game because they couldn't hit from deep. They were getting wide open shot after wide open shot. Their Twitter still shots out there all over. Everybody's taking pictures. Look how open these threes are. Josh Hart had one wide open. He airballed it. It's just insane how open they were. It had nothing to do with Julius Randle not playing. It was because they literally did not hit the shots. They made the plays. They got open. They did not hit the shots. And I really forgot your question, and I kind of went off on a tangent. I don't know where I was going with that one, but that's my point.
You said they got to hit shots. I get it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this. They got to hit shots. That's simple. Yeah. Emmanuel quickly has to be better.
Yes, he does. He's been bad most of the playoffs besides game 5, I think, in Cleveland. Other than that, he hasn't really shown up. And he's a big part of their offense, a big part of their team, spark plug off the bench, runner-up 6th man of the year. He's one of those guys that's a real big part of that team. And it's also hurting them that they don't have had Quentin Grimes hurt. He was banged up. And that's the other reason why I didn't understand why they didn't go to Deuce. Like, McBride's sitting there right there. He's a defensive stopper. He can really, lock down somebody. I mean, he's not, Gary Payton, but he can get out there and give you good minutes. And it just doesn't make any sense, But so I really do think that Brunson's going to hit and he's going to come back and have a good game. RJ needs to come back again and have another good game. I think he had 26 in game 1. He's been really on fire. And, Mitchell Robinson, and they have to find a way to make the Heat adjust to them. Don't adjust to the Heat and worry about Kevin Love. Play your game and make Spoelstra adjust to you. Don't adjust because Kevin Love is throwing these great outlet passes to a cherry-picking Jimmy Butler. Make sure you have your guys in position and you do what you do and let them adjust to you. You were doing it in the first half, and you come out in the third quarter, you get punched in the mouth, and you fold. It was bizarre, and you panic, and playoff Tibbs shows up. So hit your shots. Play your game. That's really what it comes down to. It's that simple. Don't panic. Do with what got you there.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I have faith that guys like IQ, Josh Hart, Grimes, when he plays, those guys are going to hit shots. I have more faith in those guys to make plays than I do in Kyle Lowry and Kevin Love to consistently kill you. Like Gabe Vincent, some of the shots he was hitting, some of those threes, he's not hitting those every game. So I think that you guys come back and win game 2. What's your prediction for the rest of the series, real quick, before we move on?
I had Knicks in 6. I'm going to stick with that because I think the Knicks are going to bounce back, especially with Jimmy Butler injured. He's not himself. And I would also keep Randall out of this game if Butler's not playing. I know they're going to play that cat and mouse game because then if Randall sits out game 2 without Jimmy Butler, the Knicks can win. The Knicks should have won game 1 without Randall and Jimmy Butler. So they should be able to win at home in game 2. And I know it's the playoffs. You should play every game to win. But I'm just stay with me here because if he sits out until Saturday, I think you saw my tweet about this. If he sits out until Saturday, that's 10 days of him resting that ankle without playing a big game because for some reason NBA schedules are ridiculous. Play Sunday, Tuesday, and then Saturday, and you're flying to Miami and I'm flying to LA. So let him sit. And then you want him there for the rest of the series. I think the Knicks are better without Randall, in my opinion. But at the same time, if you want to have him play and not have him come in and then have to come out, let him sit. That's all I'm saying. Even if Butler's half of a Butler, I might consider making him sit. Obviously, if the doctors clear him, he's good to go. But we already went through this. He sat out like 3-4 weeks at first when he first injured it, and he came back and injured it again. So what are we doing here? Do you want to just learn from your mistakes? And what's the definition of insanity here? Or, I'm not a doctor, of course, but what do I know? Everybody's twisted their ankle. I've done it a million times. I got those little scrawny little ankles that really bother me. I'm always rolling my ankle, man. I'm very well versed in the ankle twisting. So put it that way.
New York Knicks doctors, if you guys are listening to this show, give Julius Randle another game. All right, listen to Alex. He knows what's best.
I'm the ankle specialist. Yes, exactly.
He's the ankle whisperer.
Yes.
All right. I want to get into a little Nets Knicks chat. This is a Nets podcast. Question number 1. Mm-hmm. How happy were you that KD and Kyrie completely failed in Brooklyn?
Oh my God, over the moon. I died laughing. When the initial trade request over the summer when Kevin Durant, because I knew it was over then. That's when I was like, like I literally looked at my phone and just uncontrollably laughed. I did not troll Mike because I like Mike as a friend and really do. So
you're talking about the first trade request or the second one?
The first one, because I knew it was over. It was over then, and they should have traded Kyrie at that point. They should have blown it up at that point. They tried to force these guys. These are not the kind of players that you could say no to and force them to play. You should have dumped it and ended it then, and then you would have had training camp or at least summer training camp to figure it out, and you would have started over a little sooner. Trying to force these guys to play was ridiculous. You knew you weren't going to pay Kyrie. You knew he was going to do something crazy like he's always done. He's done Kyrie things this entire time. Love him or hate him or believe what he did or did not do with everything you said, everything he did. You knew something was going to happen and he wasn't going to fuck around with playing with this team without getting that contract. And once Durant said he wants out too, you had to blow it up. You were forcing the square block in the circle hole like a kid that doesn't know shapes. You know what I mean? It just wasn't working. And then once it happened again, the second time, once Kyrie was gone and he demanded his trade, and I felt bad for Mike, but he's like, well, he hasn't said he doesn't want. Like, he did already, dude. Like, he said it already. Like, he said he wants out of here. So of course he wants out of here now that Kyrie's like shutting himself down and he's not playing until he's traded. Of course he's going out again. He's not going to show up and play with Evan, Sumner. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't come here for that. He's too old to waste another half a season, he's going to want out. And sure enough, he was. And I felt bad for Mike. Like I said, Mike Biseglia, I always feel bad for him. But at the same time, I did not feel bad for the Nets fan base that's trolled me for years. I felt I was laughing. Played the let it burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn.
That's your go-to.
Always for that. I had to retire it. Once they got traded and that was it, and the Knicks beat the Nets, that was it. I retired the video. I put it out one last time, and that was it. But yes, I was really happy. It was just really great, especially when they got swept last year. You kind of had a feeling like, oh, this is over. You kind of had that little, they're like, oh, this is not going to work. And then, the trade demand, and that was it. So I was happy.
Totally unrelated to your answer. And before the next question, I just want to shout out, it's Jewish American Heritage Month.
Oh,
both Jewish. Very. Mike Biseglia, Jewish. So shout out to all my Jewish people out there.
Yes.
Brooklyn Nets. Classy organization. They retweeted Happy Jewish American Heritage Month. And I just want to really reiterate that was totally not related to the question you answered about KD and Kyrie and the Nets blowing up. Happy Jewish Heritage Month, everyone. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Next question. What do you find is the most contentious topic in terms of beef between Knicks fans and Nets fans? Because there's a lot of shit that gets said between the fan groups. But what's the one thing, like, if you bring up, Nets fans are coming for your neck?
It's tough. It's from the crowd size is one. That's a big one. The crowd thing is big. The success, I think, is also another one, because the Nets fans are always going to be like, well, we've been to the playoffs 5 straight years, and look at that, and it's just, okay. I think those two things are sort of it. I think a lot of Nets fans got mad at me a couple of years ago because I wasn't giving them their flowers. And I think that's another thing. When you didn't kiss the Nets fans' ass because they got Kyrie and Kevin Durant in a wheelchair, I was just like, I said this many times in Bad Weather Fans. Mike has probably heard it a million times. When Kevin Durant, I did not want Kevin Durant the moment he hurt his Achilles. I was all in on the plan. Zion, Durant, Kyrie, Kawhi, whoever the fuck, just get them all here. And I know you couldn't get all three of those guys, but I'm saying, Durant, Kawhi, Durant, Kyrie, whatever you do, get them here. But once he hurt his Achilles, I'm like, no, done. I'm not signing a guy that age for a year to sit around and do nothing. I still wanted Kyrie because I didn't think Kyrie was that crazy at the time. I thought it was all the Celtics kids were too young and how dare they disrespect Kyrie? This guy's a champion and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I was wrong about that. So I can only take half the credit. But so once I was on a work trip in Montreal, right? And I'm in a hotel by myself, and I'm going down to go to the gym because I figure, I got like 2 hours or something, 1 hour until the deadline it was June 30th. I get the alert the clean sweep, and I would and like I was so happy, and people looked at me in the gym like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, I gotta go. Like I went back to the room. I was like, this is amazing. So and then that's when it all started, because I was just like, no man, why would I be happy? This guy's in a wheelchair, like Kyrie is crazy and this and that, and it just went from there. And I think when people did not give Nets fans their flowers, I think that's when it really, really got bad. And I think that's the most sensitive topic and part about it. Also, the crowd size. Back then, Nets fans and Nets Daily and all these accounts were like, look, the crowd size, the capacity. We're hitting more of a capacity than you. And then we got more fans and we're growing in this. Look, we practice at a park. Oh, look how great we are. And I'm just like, who gives a fuck, man? And now when the shoe's on the other foot and the Knicks fans like, hey, you guys got swept, and look, we're selling out the arena. We're dancing in the streets. Listen to the crowd at the Garden in the playoffs. It's nothing to like the crowd at the Barclays. They're like, oh man, we just stink. Why would you talk about us? We live rent free. It's like, you can't dish it and then not take it. You know what I mean? You got to just understand I'm giving it back. I'm putting the nail in the coffin because you guys deserve that shit. So it's a combination of all of them. So that was a good question, Spen. Good question.
Listen, if there's ever a roast of the Brooklyn Nets, I think you got to get a spot at the dais.
Thanks. Hit all points.
Next question. What do we think of Frank the Tank switching sides, leaving the Nets, and becoming a Knicks fan? No respect, right?
No. That guy's a joke. Caricature of himself. It's just a complete joke. As a Mets fan too, he's just a complete joke. It's just whatever. I don't know how people pay attention to that guy.
Well, it's not just him. It's the principle of any grown man who stops rooting for a sports team because of lack of success. It shows a lot about you as like a person, not to mention he's already a Mets fan. So if you're going to change any team, go root for the fucking Dodgers or something. Don't go from the Nets to the Knicks. It's like going from New York pizza to New Jersey pizza. It's there's a very small margin.
Right. What are we doing here? Yeah. No, I get it. And that's just what these guys do, man. They're just clout chasers and doing anything for content, and it is what it is. It's working for them, so whatever. But shout out to Barstool though. They do a good job. But I just like him and Frank the Tank in general, I'm just not a big fan of it. It was funny when it was original, when he first came out and he was doing all those videos in his room and we're losing, the Mets are losing, and that was funny. But now it's just like, all right, dude, like, yeah, I get it. Everything that happens is not the end of the world. The Mets are in the playoffs. They're like, we're gonna lose. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's just little things like that. I don't know. So I don't respect that, no, at all. It's almost as like, I think I have less respect for Frank the Tank than I do for Michael Rappaport. I think that and that's saying something. So I'll put it that way.
You're not a Rappaport fan. If you guys want to look at Alex's last few tweets, there's definitely one or two at Rappaport.
Yeah,
Not
well,
the last
the
two,
guy
but
switched
last 10.
sides. The guy, he
Yeah.
was a huge Knicks fan, grew up in Manhattan, right? Big actor. Everybody knows who he is. On Friends, he was on Atypical, good show. He's on a lot of movies. But you know what? You disown the Knicks and you put out a statement you're disowning the Knicks. You show up to Nets games in Brooklyn Nets gear. You're doing all of that. Like, okay, so that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Now, and you're like, oh, I'm on Oakley's side, and no Knicks fan is on Oakley's side anymore. And then all of a sudden, now when the Knicks are good again, you want to start putting out videos. You're walking with your phone in your face and you're recorded. Like, bro, come on, man, get out of here. You disown the Knicks. Stay over there. And all Knicks fans are not taking him. It's like, and he's like on TV as like the face of the Knicks. Like, he's going with Skip Bayless, like, oh, big Knicks fan, Michael Rappaport. Like, come on. Can we get Fat Joe up there? Can we get like Ben Stiller, Chris Rock, even somebody that like actually watches the games and comes to the games that could talk Knicks? Like Ben Stiller, Fat Joe, and Tracy Morgan are the three right now. Spike Lee, I'm not even a big fan of anymore. So there's that. So I'll put it that way.
All right, Alex B coming on the show, taking shots. I love it.
It's my opinion, man. That's all.
No,
nothing to do with you.
I get it. Listen. I've had Frank on the show as a Nets fan. He was on Fireside Nets. Now that he's a Knicks fan, shame on you, Frank. Like most of my guests that come on the show, they don't switch sides, right? Alex isn't going to start rooting for Brooklyn next week.
No,
so,
fuck no.
Shame on you,
it's in
Frank.
your blood. If you're a little kid and you switch teams when you're like 10, okay. But once you get to like 10, once you're bar mitzvahed, I think you got to stick with your team. I think that's it. You're a man now, and that's it. You got to keep going. That's all. And, I'm also the only person maybe to be on Fireside Nets and Fireside Knicks, because I was on the Fireside Knicks podcast. Shout out to them. And now I'm on Fireside Nets. So I think I'm covering all the Firesides. So maybe I should go to like every single team's Fireside. And I'll do a little Knicks segment. What do you think?
You know what? I actually have the number for the guy who does Charlotte Hornets Fireside. I'll send you his way. Fireside Hornets. Final question in this segment: who is your favorite Nets player of all time? Could be New Jersey, could be Brooklyn.
Oh, Kenny Anderson, easy. No hesitation. Kenny Anderson, Queens, all the way. Love the guy. Big fan. Wish he was a Knick. One of those guys that I followed his entire career from coming in from college through the Nets, through, Celtics, Hawks, wherever he bounced around. I was always a big fan of his, and somebody I would love to interview one day. Kenny Anderson is number one for sure. He's
been on this show.
Yeah, he has.
He was one of our first guests. He was actually our first player guest, but he came on. Me and Nikki had him. He was great. He's definitely a fun interview.
Yeah. He seems like a down to earth guy, and he's been through a lot, so he has a lot of.
And he knows ball, man. He knows basketball.
Oh yeah.
All right, I got a great segment. I'm very excited for this one. It's called role playing. So I'm going to give you a situation, all basketball related, and we're just going to act it out. So Here we go. I'm Coach Thibodeau. You're Alex Benezowitz. We run into each other at the bar the afternoon before the big game. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Alex, we got our ass stomped out in game 1. Going into game 2, what in the hell are the damn adjustments I need to make for us to take down those fucking pussies from Miami?
How about you get your head out of your ass and you play to your style. You don't play to Spoelstra style, play to your own fucking style. You got here, so keep it going. I don't know what your deal is. This is playoff Tibbs. You're panicking. You're panicking like Nate McMillan schooled you 2 years ago in the Hawks series. You're doing it again. We saw it last night. On game 1, last night, whatever it is, we're drinking. Just get it together, man. You can play Deuce McBride. Hey, guess what? You can even put Evan Fournier in. Maybe he gets hot and drops 30. I don't want to see him play every game, but if you have a couple of injuries and you need the guy, there's a veteran right there. Even Derrick Rose. These are guys that can play. But you know what? You're so stubborn, so I understand. You know more than me. I don't watch as much film as you. You say you watch film all the time. You got to watch 3 hours of film before you can make an opinion and make a statement, whatever. But guess what? You're down 1-0 in the series, and you're obsessed with Julius Randle. I don't know what kind of dirt he has on you, but I don't know why you hate Obi Toppin, because the guy might be better than Julius Randle. So I'll put it that way.
All right, scene. That was pretty good. That was a good first one. I like that one. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
End scene.
End scene. We got scenario number 2.
Yes.
You're RJ Barrett. I'm a reporter. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
RJ, why are you good some games and bad others? Can't you just be good all the time?
Why don't you ask my fucking coach?
Okay. All right. I see what you did there. That was good.
Because
like
you
that.
know what it is? RJ Barrett is not good as a third option. He's just not. And he was good as a number two option last year at the end of the season when I was calling him a star because he was playing like one. He was like, give me the ball, get the fuck out of the way. And he was rocking it. And that's what he's been doing in the playoffs last few games. He's been like, yo, this is the time. Give me the ball, man. You guys are fucking up. And he's been, what he dropped, like I said, he dropped like 25 or something. And it's just like, why are we running all these plays for Randall? When Obi's in there, the ball's zipping around and everybody's touching it, everybody's feeling it, everybody's moving, everybody's hustling, everybody's running the ball. You getting, like it's one of those situations where people were like, RJ Barrett sucks. He sucks. He's regressing. But then when you look at the numbers, his field goal percentage has actually gone up this year from last year. He's averaging almost the same amount of points per game as he did last year. And he's a number 3 option now. And he's not the focal point of the offense. So I get Jalen Brunson's number 1. He's the star of the team. He should have been the all-star. But you don't have to force it to Randall every single time. You don't have to, like, you're moving around, you give it to Randall, everybody stands around. Okay, let's stand around, watch him dribble the ball a few times and put up a step-away 3 or a shot or a fadeaway in the corner. And yeah, he might make it more times than not because he's averaged 25 points a game. But when it comes playoff time, you can't pad your stats against like the Charlotte, your boys at the Fireside Charlotte Hornets. Like, you can't do that. It just doesn't work anymore. And these guys are keying in on you. They're game planning for you. They're watching film on you. You know what I mean? And this is like not like one game where in the NBA season, you know how it is. Like, not everybody game plans as much as they should. Because it's like, all right, you know what? We played this team 2 weeks ago. Here's the game plan. Everyone's like, yeah, okay, bro, I'm going to play. I'm on Twitter, man. Fuck off. But now you're in the playoffs. These guys are locked and loaded. And they're really paying attention, and you see that's why playoff Randall comes out. He's only averaging like 16 points a game in the playoffs in his career in the 10 games he's played, and in the regular season, the last couple of years, the Knicks, he's been around 25 points a game. I mean, you do the math. That's a lot less points. So
the one thing I saw from Barrett last game that I absolutely loved, so I'm a huge Duke fan. I fell in love with RJ Barrett at Duke. I thought from a mid-range perspective, he was an assassin. And when he plays his game, he's elite. I think what you talk about where Tibbs limits him from doing what he does best, which is score the basketball, which is getting one-on-one situations, then yeah, if he's not allowed to do what he does best, he's not going to be a good basketball player. But yeah. Presses, right. So you saw in that game 1, like I saw those highlights from Duke. They were just going back in my mind, like the little mid-range, the floater, the layup. He's got a bag. You just got to let him use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I just lost you for a second, but yeah, no. And he does a lot of times telegraph his moves, which kind of drives me crazy, where he like goes to the hoop and he's going to do that little scoop layup. And it's just like, everybody's like waiting for it at this point because they're game planning for him now, go up strong, go and dunk it. You can dunk it on these guys, go up and you might get fouled. Or you might even dunk it on the guy. But anyway, next segment.
We got scenario number 3. So this one's for my Nets fans because I did 2 Knicks scenarios. So here we go. Alex, you're Sean Marks. Okay. I'm Alex's co-host of Bad Weather Fans, Mike Biseglia. Okay, here we go. Sean, it's me, Mike here. The huge Nets fan, aka the Uber Eats cat guy. Sean, what will you do in the offseason to make this team?
What'd you say? I lost you.
Back.
Hello?
Did you get the final part of that?
I said, what would you do in this offseason? That's what I heard.
Yep, that's it. What would you do in this offseason to make this team better than the Knicks next year?
Well, Mike, you're a nosy fan, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And if I told you what I was going to do, then we wouldn't be able to do it. If I told you maybe off the record, if I could trust you, but I don't know if I can trust you because you're friends with Evan Roberts, and Evan Roberts works at the radio station, and things can get around there. And you're also friends with Greg Giannotti. So you know what? Like, this stuff can get out there. So why the hell would I tell you what I'm going to do? Because I'm going to, try to do it anyway. But guess what? I'm going to try to trade for Dame and try to get another package in it. But you already know that. So why are you asking me, bro? And
it's a great question. I just suggest maybe get some more rebounders. That's my only suggestion, Sean Marks. If you know what a rebound is, it's when someone misses, a guy on our team is supposed to try to get the ball. If the other team gets all of those, we tend to lose basketball games.
Well, this is what happens. I got forced to get DeAndre Jordan to get you guys, and now I'm stuck with this fucking team, and I don't know what you want me to. I get into like the Brooklyn accent all of a sudden, and I'm not even from Brooklyn, but I'm trying to do the British thing.
Brooklyn, New Zealand
British
accent.
thing.
No, it's perfect.
Brooklyn, New Zealand.
This is a good Brooklyn, New Zealand. I got one more scenario for you, and it's an easy one. I'm Julius Randle. You're once again Alex Benezowitz. Ask me any question you want.
This is tough. How you doing, Julius? Good to see you.
I wish I was playing.
Yeah, no, I don't. But honestly, sorry, you almost spit out your water. So anyway, back in character, back in there. Are you really a made man, and are you really untouchable in this organization? Because from our side, you said on the Woj pod that you got Leon Rose the job at a dinner uptown in the city at an Italian restaurant. Before Leon Rose got the job, it was you, Alfred Payton, Leon Rose, Worldwide West, and a couple other guys, Kenny Payne, Alfred Payton. And you pitched Leon Rose the job. This is your words. You pitched Leon Rose that you should take over the team. You guys talked about the plan. You went to James Dolan, and he gave you the job. Now it appears that you're untouchable and that nobody can say anything to you. You're not allowed to get benched. You're not allowed to be held accountable like the other players. Obi Toppin can cough on the court and he's benched for the rest of the game, while you can throw a tantrum and throw players and actually shove your teammates out of the way, and you are not benched 1 minute. Will you care? Are you really untouchable in this organization, Julius?
My follow-up question is, where are we in the playoffs? Second round. What's the team's record without me? 0-1. Who is the only all-star on the New York Knicks this year? Tell you what, it wasn't Obi Toppin.
Well, you're 1-1, I think, actually, in the playoffs, because they beat the Cavs without him before.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about
that. You don't even know your record, bro. See, you try to inflate your team, and this is what I'm talking about. Your cockiness. You make up stats and you make up things, and this. But guess what? They allow you to do it, right? Is that what it is?
Tibbs. All right, no more questions for Julius.
That's it. That's the Tibbs.
That's the Tibbs. Oh man,
can he shave his head, bro? Like, do you see the four struggle hairs left on top, man? Just let it go, bro. Just be the bald guy. Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
Shout out to my father. My father had a little hair on his head for like 10-15 years, and when he finally shaved it, he has looked so much more handsome the last 6-7 years, being completely bald. He looks younger. My mom likes it more. Women in the street compliment him because they think he has such a great bald head.
Shiny, right? It's all like Robert Saleh. You're looking good walking down the street.
Yeah, man. The old James Gandolfini, it just doesn't work for Tom Thibodeau. Just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And he sits there and does the gel, and he pushes the few hairs down. I just, hey, whatever, man. Shout out to him trying to keep the dream alive, but bro, it's over. You're like 70 years old. I'm just kidding.
That's coming from your number one fan, Coach. All right, this has been a really fun episode. I have one more segment for us.
Yes.
The top 5 role guys left in the playoffs. So I have a list of my top 5 guys, and we'll start with 5. We'll go down the list. Do you have 5 role guys on you?
I don't, honestly. You told me earlier, and I totally forgot to
That's totally okay. I'll name my list, and you tell me if I'm missing anyone that should be.
I'll try to come off the top of my head, but go ahead. Left in the
Number
playoffs.
5.
Okay.
Left in the playoffs. Yeah. Okay. Role players. Number 5, I got Jeff Green.
Okay, that's a good one. I would say for me, I'll put Michael Porter Jr. How about that?
I like that. See, okay, so you would classify him as a role guy because I would classify him as a top 3 star on that team.
Okay, so we're doing anything under the 3. That's the definition.
Right, 2 to 3. Okay. Right. That's what I'm thinking. So who would give me another guy?
Do you consider Marcus Smart? I guess he's the 3rd guy there, right? So
yeah, he's close. Yeah.
Let's see. Tobias Harris. Guess he's a role guy.
Okay.
Would you put him as the 4th under Maxey? Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
That's your 5. Okay. Yeah. My 4 is I have PJ Tucker.
Okay.
Excellent role guy.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to go with Mitchell Robinson.
I like that.
Yes.
He's what? Would you put him as the 5th best starter on the Knicks?
Yeah.
And he's a good player. Like, is he better than Grimes? I guess
yeah, that's tough. They're probably even, but Mitchell Robinson has the ability to be like Wilt Chamberlain, but then some games he's like, I don't even know. Yinkadare. I don't know what the doing here. You know what I'm saying? Like, some games he's like, he'll have like 3 points, 5 rebounds, and foul out in 12 minutes. It's just like, dude, what the fuck? So he's one of my favorite players, but he's very frustrating. Anyway, go ahead.
Classic Rasha Nesterovic stat line right there.
Yes.
I'm with you. Number 3, I got Derek White on the Celtics.
Okay.
Really good guard on that team. He's him and Brogdon are like 1A, 1B. Brogdon played nice tonight in that shocking 76ers upset against the Celtics. But I got White as my third role.
Okay. Let me try to go outside. Let's see. Oh, you know who you can consider this? You won't even think this. Chris Paul.
Yes.
He's a number 4. Yep. Yeah, because you got Durant, Booker, Ayton, and then you got Chris Paul as the 4th guy.
So the way I'm looking at this is if our two teams played each other, like you have the advantage, right? Because Chris Paul's an excellent. You know, I got Tucker, I got Jeff Green, and Derek White. So you'd match up with me, Chris Paul. Who are your other 2?
Mitchell Robinson and Tobias Harris. Yeah, I'm crushing you.
All right, now I like this. So here's my number 2. You ready? Your boy, Josh Hart.
Okay, that's a good one. Very, very good. Very good. Okay, so then I'm going to go with, let's see. So I'm thinking about Sixers. I'm thinking about Celtics. I'm thinking about Knicks. I'm thinking about Heat players. Oh, fuck the Heat. Let's see. I'm going to go quickly. Let's get me quickly.
So you got CP3 and Quickly as a backcourt. That's a nice guard heavy backcourt defensively. My number 1, I got the best rebounder in the league right now. I got Kayvon Looney.
Ooh, Looney. Yeah, Looney's
insane, bro. He is. I mean, as great as Steph was, you can give Looney like 49% responsibility for that win. He was so key for them.
Right. So if you're going Looney, I totally forgot about the Warriors and the Lakers. Didn't even cross my mind. We got a lot of guys there that you could choose from now. I'm not doing Draymond because I hate him. You know, did you see the thing? Go sidebar. He's like, I'd have lost all respect for Sabonis. So he didn't shake my hand. Like, dude, you stomped on his chest. Like, you know what I mean? You're lucky he didn't punch you in the face after the game when he was eliminated. You know. Anyway, regardless if you think it was bad or not, I don't know how you could expect that you could be that arrogant to expect him to shake your fucking hand. So, anyway, let's see. Lakers. Warriors and Jordan Poole, I guess. No, he's a 3. I guess he's the 3rd guy, right?
He stunk this playoffs.
He did, but he's good overall, I guess.
He's good overall. He's a nice player.
Yeah.
He's been
bad. Yeah, because the Lakers top 3 there is LeBron, AD, and D'Angelo. You can't go really anybody else there. Then you got the Warriors. You got Draymond. I'm not doing him. You got Looney already. I'll go with Jordan Poole. How about that? We'll just keep him there.
Jordan Poole. I like that. Okay. There you go. There you have it. All right. So,
I think my team wins in 5.
Wins in 5, yeah. At Nick Central, Alex B, thank you very much for coming on to Fireside Nets tonight. Brought to you by Empire Sports Media. This is a fun episode. I enjoyed myself. How about you?
It was. I did too. So do you think the Nets are getting Dame, lastly?
Yes or no? Gun to your head? Nets are getting Dame.
Gun to your head.
Yeah, just because of his relationship with Mikal Bridges.
Okay, that's fair.
I think that's pretty strong. And I think at this point the Trailblazers, like, you got to blow it up. You can't try to build around Dame again. Fail. Get what you can for him. Is there anything you want to plug before I end the show?
Yeah, Bad Weather Fans podcast. We're actually recording after Game 2 tomorrow, God willing, and you know, we've had a bunch of guests on, from Knicks and Nets guests, from Kerry Kittles, Richard Jefferson a couple times. Evan Roberts, Greg Giannotti, like I mentioned them before. Kerry Kittles already. T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, Channing Frye. It's been fun. We had a lot of good guests, and we've had some fun Knicks and Nets talk. Only Knicks and Nets podcast that I guess matters, and it's been fun. And just check us out. We're on all podcast apps and YouTube. I'm at Nick Central. I hope you guys like me now. And he's at Mike Delivers Pod, Mike Baseglia. So check us out.
All right. That does it. Thanks for listening, everyone. And as always, catch you on the fireside.